Reports from the Chinese that they have detected sounds underwater 1 month after that plane vanished. Let's get right to the map we've grown so familiar with here, the possible flight path of that plane. And that red area right there is where the signal was picked up. And this is the ship, part of the international fleet, out on the water tonight. We do have team coverage here because there are a lot of questions about whether this is the real thing or whether they heard something else. And so we lead off with ABC's Clayton Sandell in Australia tonight. Clayton, good evening.
Good evening, David. That's right. There is a potentially big new development here tonight, but investigators are now scrambling to figure out whether this is a promising lead or just another false alarm. Nearly 1 month after this jet carrying 239 people vanished, China's state media today claims this Chinese patrol ship detected that signal pulse, heard on the same frequency used by emergency beacons like the ones attached to those crucial black box recorders. Australia, in charge of the search, says what the Chinese say they heard is consistent with what you'd expect from a black box, but stress they cannot verify any connection to the missing aircraft. A Chinese plane today also reported seeing debris near where the pulse was heard. But so far, weeks of searching the Indian Ocean has failed to turn up a shred of evidence. Tonight, the search becoming more urgent than ever because the pings from those beacons may be just days away from going silent, their batteries running out.
I think the warranty runs out probably on Sunday. We may get 4 or 5 days after that, and if they're really good batteries, you might get a week or so longer, but we're getting very close.
Today, 2 ships again launched underwater sensors to listen for those pings, but the devices need to be within 1 mile of the pings to hear them, and the search area is enormous, 83,000 square miles, the size of the state of Kansas. So much territory, so few clues, but Malaysian authorities say they are not giving up.
We will continue to search with the same level of vigor and intensity. We owe this to the families on those on board.
And tonight, Australian officials tell us they are considering sending more search teams to the area where these pings were heard. They are desperate to find out whether they are from Malaysia 370 or not. David.
Clayton Sandell tonight. Clayton, thanks. I want to bring in our aviation consultant, John Nance, tonight, a pilot himself. And John, obviously we need to learn much more here about exactly what was heard. But when you first learned that this Chinese ship detected a pulse signal in the Indian Ocean not far from the search area, what did you make of it?
What got my attention, David, was the frequency that they thought they picked up, which is exactly the same frequency, 37.5 kilohertz, as what is on these boxes, the 2 boxes. If that is sustained, in other words, if they've heard that on a continuous basis, then they may actually have something.
But you also told me earlier a lot of caution here because there are many things underwater, sounds that can be detected by those hydrophones.
Absolutely. The ocean is a noisy place. I mean, one of the reasons they picked that frequency was because fish and whales don't normally communicate on that wavelength. But by the same token, a nuclear submarine 500 miles away might emit a signal that could be mistaken for it. The proof of it is going to be getting over that site again and hearing those signals sustained.
And getting back there quickly, because, John, as we heard Clayton report there, it was 4 weeks ago this weekend when the jet disappeared. The batteries in that black box have got to be, what, nearing their end?
They're getting close. The guarantee is 30 days, but it'll actually go more like 40 to 45 days if the batteries were truly fresh when the jet took off. And that gives us a little bit more time, but not much.
And of course, even when the batteries do die, that disk itself keeps the information intact.
Probably for centuries, and we hope it isn't going to take that long.